pound for pound, who is the best fighter on the planet? We regone? Nah. Take a look at 5 fighters who are deserving of being in this conversation, and we well rank them in our pound for pound list. I think it's worth noting that this is just my opinion, and yours may differ. So please drop your list in the comment section so we can talk about it. And let me know which fighter you think is the best. This is a tough one, too. It all comes down to 2 things. Is the person who wins most often the best? Not necessarily. If we're talking about skills and who has their hand raised when the fight is over, then sure. But what about the size factor? After all, someone fighting in the heavyweight division is going up against much larger opponents than, say, someone fighting in the flyweight or the bantamweight divisions. How do you compare across multiple weight classes? Do you even take weight into account when comparing fighters from different divisions? A couple weeks ago, we looked at ESPN's latest pound-for-pound list, and there were some glaring omissions. Guys like Israel Adesanya and Gervonta Davis. In this video, we've regone nah. Look at 5 fighters who have the best claim to being the pound-for-pound no one. And since this is an MMA news outlet, these will all be combat sports athletes. There's been plenty of debates with people saying that Muhammad Ali was the greatest of all time, but what about today? Today's athletes are bigger, stronger, and faster. And that's why we're focusing on today's athletes in this video. So let's get right to it. Coming in at no. 5 is UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones. Bones has been out of action since his last title defense against Dominic Reyes in February of 2020. He was stripped of the title in July because he failed to come to terms on a new contract with the UFC. Now, he's also dealing with legal troubles after being arrested in Las Vegas in September on charges of injuring a woman in a battery. But those issues aside, Jones is still considered by many to be the best in the world. Jones currently holds the UFC record for most title defenses with 14. He's defeated many great fighters during his career, including Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier, and Alexander Gustafsson. Jones is a well-rounded fighter who has arguably the greatest reach in the game. Standing at 6'4", Jones can get away with trying to brawl if he wants to. But at his best, he uses his jab and his reach to keep opponents at bay. He's got some of the best takedown defense in the game, and is always looking to work in the stand-up game. Some believe Jones to be the greatest of all time. It's a tough call, but when you look at the resume, it's hard to argue with his place in the top 5. Coming in at no. 4 is featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander is a true warrior who never seems to back down from a challenge. That mentality has allowed him to rise to the top of the featherweight division and earn his way onto this list. Volk took the UFC by storm when he made the jump from the Australian bantamweight circuit. He came in on short notice to face Chad Mendes and won. Then he went on a 6-fight winning streak that earned him a shot at the featherweight title. When Max Holloway was forced to pull out of UFC 245 due to injury, Volk was given the call, and he took full advantage. He dominated the fight and won by TKO in the 3rd round to become the UFC featherweight champion. Since then, he successfully defended his title 3 times, with his latest coming against former lightweight champion and now featherweight contender Charles Oliveira. Volk was cut badly in the 1st round, but he came back strong in the second half of the fight to win by unanimous decision. Volk has shown that he can hang with the best of the best. He's not afraid to mix it up with anyone, and that's what makes him such a threat. Volk stands at 5'10", so he's not particularly short for the division, but he doesn't have any real reach advantage either. What he lacks in size, he makes up for in heart and hustle. Volk is one of the most exciting fighters to watch in the UFC today, and he continues to show why he belongs among the best pound for pound. No. 3 on our list is super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez. While boxing is quite different from MMA, it's hard to deny the accomplishments of Canelo throughout his career. At only 32 years old, he's already accomplished so much. Canelo is a 4-division world champion and is one of only 4 fighters to win world titles in 4 different weight classes before turning 30, Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, and Manny Pacquiao being the others. He is widely regarded as the best boxer in the world today and one of the best fighters, period. Canelo stands at 5'8", so he's not particularly tall for the super middleweight division. But what he lacks in size, he makes up for in technique and power. He's a southpaw with good footwork and excellent head movement. He's also got some of the best knockout power in the sport today. In his last fight, he moved up in weight, and defeated WBA super middleweight champion Dmitry Bivol. But because the fight was at 175 pounds, he didn't win a world title in a fifth weight class. Now he is set to face Gennady Golovkin for a third time, and this one will be for Canelo's undisputed super middleweight championship. One thing is for sure, Canelo is a fighter who's not afraid of anybody, and he is willing to go anywhere to fight anyone. And that's what separates him from the rest. No. 2 on our list is unified middleweight champion Israel Adesanya. Izzy is one of the most dominant champions in the UFC today. He's held the middleweight title twice and has successfully defended it 4 times. He's coming off a successful title defense against longtime rival Robert Whittaker at UFC 276 in July. Adesanya dominated the fight and won by TKO in the second round. Izzy is known for his flashy fighting style and his ability to make his opponents quit. He's got some of the best striking in the game and is always looking to finish the fight. He's also very cerebral in the way that he fights. He's always looking to break down his opponent and find the weakness that he can exploit. This is a fighter who is constantly improving, and he shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Israel stands at 6'4", so he's got a pretty big reach advantage over most of his opponents. This, coupled with his technical striking ability, allows him to dominate many of the fights that he competes in. The only reason he's not, no. 1 on this list is because he's yet to compete outside of the middleweight division. But with his recent performance, it's hard to argue that he's not the best pound for pound. That brings us to our no. 1 spot. And this one might surprise you. It's UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Why is he no? 1. Well, he's the most dominant champion in the game today. He's held the lightweight title since October of 2022, and he's already defended it once. He's coming off a victory over former lightweight and interim lightweight champion Charles Oliveira at UFC 280 in October. Makhachev dominated the fight and won by submission in the second round. He is the first fighter in UFC history to submit Oliveira. Makhachev is known for his grappling prowess and his ability to wear down his opponents. He's a pressure fighter who likes to take his opponents down and grind them out. He's also very technical in the way that he fights. He's always looking to break down his opponent and find the weakness that he can exploit. Islam stands at 5'10", so he doesn't have any real reach advantage over most of his opponents. But what he lacks in reach, he makes up for in technique and power. In his last fight against Oliveira, Makhachev was able to take the fight to the mat and control Oliveira, despite being the smaller fighter. Makhachev is a fighter who is constantly improving, and he shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. And that's our list. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember, the fight for the no. 1 spot is an endless battle.